We hear the word values used a lot today, but what are personal values and how do they affect our lives? I know it was even mentioned in Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So today we're really going to take a look at that. We're talking with our life coach, Pat Barone of Catalyst Coaching, about that topic. A lot of times, too, before you get married, I always hear this catchphrase, you have to have similar life values. What is that? What are personal values, first of all? And how do we make sure they link up not only with our mates, our partners, but with our friends?
Right. You know, we tend to be kind of generic about values and say that he has values or she doesn't have values, and it's, it's just a judgment, really. But values are unique to us. They're what make us who we are. They're highly, highly unique. And so it's a great thing to really get in touch with them. And then you can discern all the time if you're acting in alignment with your values. When we feel conflict in our lives, when things don't feel quite right, it's because we're going against one of those values.
So how do we determine what my values are?
Well, I brought a few questions today that I think will help, and this is a big part of coaching, is to learn what those values are. The first one is, what is important to you? You know, if you always have your nose in a book, and you love the smell of the library, well, that's going to indicate a certain value, probably knowledge or learning. If you were skydiving last weekend and this next weekend you'll be climbing a mountain, then a different value is probably very important to you. So it's great to know, what those values are again.
What about, because a lot of people like to play golf that are watching right now. A lot of people like to hike. Would that be considered a value? I mean, how would you place a value on an activity?
Well, it indicates that perhaps being outdoors, being active, those things can be values, definitely.
Okay, something that you take pride in.
You mentioned relationships too, and it's not so important that you have the same, but that you understand each other's, right? Because they'll conflict at times.
Right, and what makes you feel good?
Right. Right. What makes you feel good? Again, you might feel good in nature, you might feel good with a massage, you might feel good running. They're all indicative of very, very different values.
And, especially too, even with friends, how do you spend your ideal day? A lot of my friends, some are very different from me, but I like to have friends that are like-minded.
Right, right. And if you had no constraints on time, space, anything, how would you spend a day or an afternoon? Would you be on the French countryside with your friends? Would you be at a UW hockey game? Again, it's going to indicate your personal values.
I remember I did an interview several years back, and it was actually shocking. I forget who she was, but she had me write out Monday all the way through Sunday what I do with my day. The work portion, well, that was a snap. Then the rest was, what do I place value on in my life? What do I do?
And what are you doing that doesn't feel good to you?
Right.
It's probably an indication that you're stepping on a value.
All right, Pat Barone, life coach, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And again, that really does help kind of the catchphrase values, really dissect it. For more information, just go right to our web channel, NBC15.com.